But Dipen Sheth, head of the institutional research at HDFC Securities, is with us in the studio. Dipen, hi, good morning. Great tidings for our markets. There is a massive victory expected for the NDA, but how do you position yourself at this juncture?
So, Sonia, I think we are almost in what I would call fait accompli zone. You know, it's a done thing, it's a given. And I don't think it would be a sign of overconfidence or arrogance to say that we are pretty much going to see a change in government. The BJP will form the largest coalition which will then stake claim to power. Mr. Modi should be your Prime Minister in a few days from now, barring some completely unforeseen 20 Sigma event or some such thing. That said, the biggest question that most rational thinkers, it's easy to get emotional at times like this and go the whole way, this way or that and so on. But the biggest question that most of us are grappling with is this the time that you've bought the rumor, now will you sell the news? Are we going to top out in the short term? And that's what everybody is worried about. Absolutely. If you ask anyone, where are we going to be in 2 years or 3 years from now? The consensus, and more than the consensus, is saying yes, we can be higher and we should be higher. What about the next 3 to 6 months? I think that's where the volatility is likely to play out. And to my mind, I don't think this is you know, the beginning of the end of the the drift that we were seeing in the markets for the last 5 or 6 years, or in the economy for that matter. I think, if you will allow me to coin a phrase, we are at the beginning of the beginning. Okay. So we'll see a little bit of jerks here and there, but there's been a decisive mandate in terms of shrugging off the old command and control mindset of how to run the government and how to run the country and how to formulate business policy and so on. So I think we are on the cusp of this change.
You're saying it's not harvesting time; it is still buying time.
It's buying time, but you have to be rational in buying. If you will allow me a sexist comment. We are the rational, so every investor, you included in your role as investor or observer of the market, desperately tries to be rational and male, so to say. But the markets are female and they've made up their mind. And once females make up their mind, you don't mess around with them. Okay, so it sounds a little funny or sexist, but you know, it brings out the way we must think about these markets.
You don't argue with the tape, is what you're saying.
You don't argue with the tape. There is momentum in your favor. You want to book profits, but hold yourself back. That's my first instinct. My rational instinct is telling me, hang in, you've made the money of your life or close to the money of your life or something, and this is a blowout. Sell into the market. I don't think that's going to happen. In the first place, everybody who's thinking of selling into the markets is a marginal player at this point of time. The big guys, the big FIIs, are now looking at this country finally coming into its own for the next 5, arguably 10 years, if they don't mess up in the next 5. So I think we could be, to put it mildly, at the beginning of the beginning. I don't think this is the time to, so I won't go out and buy some over-leveraged company which is in deep trouble just because it's moved up by 40% in the last week. But a company like L&T, let us say, it's magnificently placed. Okay, we brought out a note recently on capital goods, and we said, okay, there is a tide which is coming in, but it's not going to lift all boats equally. So a company like BHEL, for example, now I can clearly see that capacity additions in power are going to be constrained. So I won't go out and long BHEL. It's doubled from the bottom or something, but I really don't care. It's just the ticker. But in L&T, I still feel valuations at 15, 16x or something.
So is there beta in the PSU stocks?
Yes.
Because, you know, we must have read, what, 10 research reports. Everybody has access in it. Everybody has SBI in it. Everybody has L&T in it. But there are not so many people who are talking about the PSU banks, where, you know, if the dollar fear goes away, a whole host of companies look like good credit. They look like terrible credits 1 year ago. You know, even a small turn in the power sector would make a whole lot of bad credit look like decent credit, at least not a potential NPLs. So is there a scope to buy?
Of course, of course.
Which ones?
So, Latha, look at it this way. There is a pure play in asset healing, particularly in the stressed power sector, in terms of the lending side and the financials, which is power finance, and we included it in our model portfolio. This might sound boring.
REC is up 4%.
I know. So we went long on power finance. We said this is available for close to about 0.6 book, and everything that could have gone wrong for it has gone wrong. It can only get better from here, and it's not. This company is not going to be allowed to implode for sure. That's one way of looking. There's a broader take in terms of looking at PSU banks or SBI for that.
You will have to hold on to that thought because it's market opening time.
Huge move. Dipen, come in on this. I mean, a lot of retail is still not in the market and they're just sitting and watching. What's the advice now?
I don't know what the advice should be, but certainly I can predict what the action might be. And the action might be that there could be panic buying.
Okay.
It's a possibility. I'm not saying this has to happen.
Are any big institutional investors, because we used to see DII sell numbers for the longest time. So are domestic institutions now, caught red-faced, or they never had cash anyway?
No, I would disagree. A lot of the domestic funds have done admirably well in terms of performance. Okay, so lots of mid-cap funds stand out, and lots of broader funds also do stand out for reasonable outperformance, if not significant outperformance.
But are they likely to see huge AUM inflows?
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting into, Latha. The reason you see net outflows from DIIs is not that they have sold with an intent that the markets are going to fall or something. It's just that they've been facing redemptions. And now if they face inflows, they will have no choice but to buy. And I don't think that's a terrible decision at all.
The big move actually this morning is coming into some of these oil and gas names. So we should pull up ONGC. It's not even 920 and ONGC is up 5%. Volumes are also picking up over there. And not just ONGC, the big mover of the year, BPCL, which has rallied 50% this year already, is up another 2.5%. And so is Reliance, by the way. Is this a pocket that you would accumulate now?
So look at Reliance, which is the largest company in the country and which has been languishing for the last 3 or 4 years. Variety of issues, regulatory issues, performance issues, other controversies. Look at the PSU guys in the oil and gas pack, and they've been going nowhere simply because of the skewed and unfavorable regulation around their functioning. And a lot of problems regarding both these groups of companies. A lot of these problems are, investors can now justifiably aspire that these problems are going to go away. So I think there is tremendous value creation that can still be unlocked in PSU oil companies. They are magnificent businesses at one level. It's just that it was the policy mix which was holding them back from achieving their true potential. And once this entire subsidy sharing mechanism eases out and gets into more rational territory, I think companies like ONGC and BPCL are gold mines. I'm a little skeptical of the refining asset quality at HP, but even they have a magnificent refining marketing business.
Okay.
So look at PSU banks, look at the oil guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value creation which is possible in PSU.
The PSU banks, not just PSU banks, Bank Nifty today is a stark underperformer. I mean, it is still in the green. It's up about 0.3%. But pales in comparison to even the IT index, which is shocking. What's happening in the banks? And actually, Axis Bank is in the red. I saw it on everybody's buy list. I mean, what is this? This is some bout of profit taking because the Sensex, after jumping 350 points, is now up 200 points. So some rapid profit taking has come in.
You're telling me a 15-minute phenomenon on a particular day.
No.
Just look at how the Bank Nifty has done in the last 3 months.
My question is, therefore, at these levels,